Japanese Grand Prix is up next and we have a lot to look forward to, but let's look back at the first two races and see how things stack up in the championships. Norris took the first pole of the year, just 0.08 of a second ahead of Piastri and a gap of 0.3 to Max and the rest of the field. Tsunoda impressed with the P5 behind Verstappen and Russell, and Albon outpaced both the Ferraris, and Sainz in his first outing with Williams managed a P10. Isaac Hadjar was the best of the rookies. He just narrowly missed out on Q3, while Doohan and Bortoleto gave us a bit of a surprise by outqualifying Kimi Antonelli in a Mercedes and Liam Lawson in the Red Bull. Nico Hülkenberg, who is generally really quick in one lap, got outqualified by his rookie teammate Gabriel Bortoleto, and Liam Lawson in his first outing with Red Bull managed only a P18 and was out in Q1. Rain before the race wiped the track clean, made conditions really brutal for the 5 rookies having their first Formula 1 race. Before we even got to the lights, Isaac Hadjar crashed out on the formation lap. As the lights went out, Norris held his lead while Verstappen jumped Piastri. Doohan crashed on the first lap, triggering a safety car, and under the safety car, Carlos Sainz just lost control of his car and crashed too. Antonelli made moves through the field while Piastri passed Verstappen on lap 17 after a slight mistake from Max. On lap 34, Alonso crashed, triggering another safety car, and as the track was getting dried up, teams switched to slicks under the safety car conditions. The rain returned on lap 44 as Tsunoda was having a fierce battle holding off Leclerc, Hamilton and Albon for P5. On that same lap, Norris and Piastri both went off the track. Norris somehow recovered and got back to the track without losing any places, but Piastri spun off into the grass and fell all the way back to P16. There were more crashes in the race. Lawson and Bortoleto both went off on the same lap, triggering another safety car. And with the rain getting intense, most teams decided to pit, but not Ferrari and Tsunoda. Ferrari's late pit stop strategy dropped them behind the midfield. In the end, Norris edged out Verstappen by just under a second. Russell, just being a chill guy, secured P3, and Antonelli impressed with a P4. Albon, Stroll and Hülkenberg stunned Ferrari in 5th, 6th and 7th, and Piastri recovered to P9, splitting the Ferraris. Only 2 rookies managed to finish the race. Hamilton took pole ahead of Verstappen, with Piastri and Leclerc in the second row. Norris's final push lap mistake left him in 6th alongside Russell in P5. Kimi made it in the top 10 with Yuki, Albon and Stroll behind him. Lawson struggled again, failing to make it out of Q1 and qualified P20. At the lights out, Norris made a slight mistake and dropped behind Stroll in P9, just outside the points. Russell quickly cleared Leclerc for P4 and Piastri went on the attack to overtake Verstappen for P2 on lap 15. Track degradation was becoming a huge factor, but Hamilton controlled the pace and won his first race with Ferrari. Piastri and Verstappen rounded out the podium, while Norris just made it into the points with P8. Lawson, Bortoleto, Doohan and Behrman were all out in Q1, with Gasly just missing out in Q2 by 0.06 of a second. Sainz, both the Aston Martins, Hülkenberg and Ocon were all out in Q2. Isaac Hadjar bounced back from his setback in Australia and qualified in the top 10. At the top, Piastri edged out Russell for pole by just 0.08 of a second with Norris in P3. Verstappen and Hamilton followed, while Hadjar outqualified his teammate for P7. Piastri held the lead while Norris made an aggressive move to overtake Russell for P2. Verstappen dropped behind both Ferraris as Charles Leclerc made contact with Lewis Hamilton and broke his front wing end plate. Alonso's brakes failed early in the race, forcing him to retire on lap 4. Further back, Ocon was battling Kimi Antonelli, while Behrman's long first stint on the hards set him up for a late push on the mediums, overtaking everyone and just saying ciao as he passes them by. Ferrari swapped Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc as Charles was showing strong pace even with a broken front wing. On lap 46, Tsunoda's front wing crashed out of nowhere as he was chasing Sainz, and he had to pit for a new front wing and fell out of the points. And in the final laps, Verstappen fought past Leclerc for P4. At the flag, Piastri led a McLaren 1-2 with Russell rounding out the podium in P3. Post-race disqualification shook up the whole order. Gasly, Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton were all disqualified for technical violations. With those disqualifications, both the drivers of Haas and Williams made it into the points, and Sainz grabbed his first points in the Williams outfit with a P10, and Antonelli secured a P6. The Drivers' Championship is getting intense. Norris sits at the top with 44 points, but Max, Russell, and Piastri are all separated by just 2 points. Antonelli has had a brilliant start to the season and he's sitting in 5th position. Albon and Ocon are doing well in the midfield, while Stroll is somehow ahead of both the Ferraris. The Japanese Grand Prix is up next, and we have to watch out for Yuki finally getting his shot at Red Bull. Red Bull has made some really tough calls before, but this one has to be the most ruthless. There's a lot of hype and a lot of doubts going into this race, and we know that Suzuka never disappoints. It'll be an amazing race, and hopefully we'll be able to catch up after that. Peace.